Yo, what is good, my quick crypto family and coin factory family? Welcome back again to a Kaspa crypto live stream. I apologize for not streaming yesterday. Something came up out of my control and I got back far too late for it to be worthwhile. And in that being said, excuses aside, we are here today extremely early because unfortunately I am still very busy. Enough about that though, you don't really care. You want to hear what's happening with crypto and Kaspa right now. Well, we have got some very interesting sources to cover for today. As the title states, July is going to be huge for crypto and Kaspa. Now that has been stated by the likes of David Sachs, who's Trump's crypto czar. I'm not taking his word for it. I'm taking it off the premise of developments coming out for Kaspa, also understanding what's coming out in the economy, the general developments for America, for crypto, and other stuff that may have not been taken into account just yet. Ultimately, and again, the indicators of the M2 money supply, all these sort of developments, all these sort of indicators does suggest that, well, it should have suggested happening this month, but unfortunately we had a war. It's kind of resolved, but these things can unfold and turn bad at any moment. But the war delayed a rally, and going into July when things seem to have simmered down, we are hoping to see that continue. Hoping to see Bitcoin surpass 110, 112k and beyond in the coming weeks, starting early Q3. Now we got all this to cover and more, so if you enjoy the content, the normally daily live streams, leave a like, share with your friends and subscribe for more. One thing that I'm quite excited about, I haven't got anything in particular planned, but 1 month from now, on the 1st of August, basically a month away from now, would have officially come to 1 full year of streaming basically every single day. If I check my computer right now, I believe that I have done a total of 320 streams this year so far. So I would be, or something just around that. So I'll be short by maybe a week or so, which is, absolutely insane. So that's an achievement to all of us here who've tuned in every single day to watch the funny British man behind a computer talk about crypto and Kaspa. So welcome back again to the channel. Hope you had a great weekend so far, and more is to come. Kryptoni brother first indeed. Welcome back, man. You're doing very, very well. Brett, you 2 second, and Devious me 3rd. Welcome you 3, and everyone else who's tuning in, watching right now. Hope you're having a great day so far. Now, with that being said, let's get into the content first and foremost. Looking at Kaspa right now, I am actually quite happy. I'm quite happy because what we're seeing right now with Kaspa, currently valued at 7.63 cents, up roughly 2.23% on the daily time frame, which is very good to see. What we're seeing right now is what we saw back in April, just after Trump's Liberation Day, where we saw a pullback down to Kaspa's low of around 5 cents or so, 5.3 cents. We saw it come back up 8 cents, and we saw it consolidate at the zone against this resistance level for a week. After that week, we saw a breakout, a good, month or so of, nice price action, and then, then came the pullback again. Point being is right now, though, we are seeing Kaspa has come down, made a bottom at around 6 cents this time, slightly higher, so a higher low therefore. And now we're seeing once again Kaspa is starting to, replicate this similar behavior where it's consolidating and kind of just being rejected by this level of resistance at 8 cents once again. So this is proof again that 8 cents is a critical level of support and resistance. And should Bitcoin continue in its fashion, where it's just holding strong 107k, hopefully pushing to 110k, there's a good possibility that Kaspa is going to continue consolidating here for the next few days and then break out higher as well. So that is reassuring, very, very good to see. And I'm hoping Kaspa will break out very, very soon. And then again, as you look at Bitcoin, look at the M2 money supply, which once more is not a golden bullet, it's not a crystal ball, but it's got a 90 or 80 to 90% correlation to the price of Bitcoin. So it's quite a good indicator. And it does suggest that we should be seeing Bitcoin making that move any day now to 120, 130k or so very shortly. So if Bitcoin does follow this very diligently, which it should, because the M2 money supply is an indicator of all the money in the economy, the big economies being Japan, China, the European Union, United Kingdom, and United States, those 5, is an indicator of the money coming to the economy, and then 10-week delay or so, and then it gets pushed into the on-risk markets, which is, in that regard, crypto, therefore. So we should hopefully see Bitcoin rally very, very soon, and that, of course, will allow Kaspa to rally in accordance as well, breaking above 8 cents, hopefully pushing above 12 cents, and then making that push again. One thing that is to take into account is we do have this support, this level of resistance here that we've had for a while now in accordance to these 2 trend lines. So Kaspa could very well start seeing some movement and then somehow find a lot of resistance once more here around this level. Breaking above that would be very, very important. Then you've got 18 cents. There's many levels of support and resistance for Kaspa. Of course, we want to see it happening. I'm hopeful and I'm so optimistic we'll see a lot more coming through very, very soon. Kaspa's been a tough hold, I would say. Well, it depends how you look at it. I found Kaspa one of the easiest holds of my life, actually, because I'm not too worried about the immediate short-term price action. You know, I have my other projects as well that I'm investing into, which I'm not as convicted in, but they've made me gain, so I'm happy with it. I've made losses as well. You know, I lost on Say because I got out of it when it was down. But it is what it is. Either way, I think Kaspa's going to do very, very well shortly based on their developments and based on what's coming very, very shortly as well. So before we get to the Kaspa announcements, although I will quickly cover CMC, Kaspa on CMC, CoinMarketCap, which suggests that now we've got 59 million volume. Again, lackluster, not ideal. But once more, again, we're seeing BitGet for the. I mean, I haven't looked at every single day, but most streamers have done. Effectively, every single day, more or less, for the last almost week now, BitGet has been dominating the volume with 40%. And I want to remind those who are watching who may not be aware that there was an AMA on Twitter with the KEF, which I'm going to preload right now while I am, you know, going on my tangent talking about it. And in this AMA with the KEF, they mentioned that they predicted that the Kraken listing would be happening that month, which it did. And they also predicted or stated that these tier ones, so the likes of Binance and Coinbase and OKX and them lot, what they want to see, because Kaspa's not got any typical TVL, what they want to see is high volume. Now, of course, Kaspa's volume right now is only at 59%, so it's not high, but they want to see high volume. In particular, they want to see high volume on the major tier 1 exchanges. So here is the post that I found through my free Discord server. Again, if you want to find out more, got all the links to pretty much everything we talk about. It's always available. You can find it in the Discord server. You've got to just go into the Discord server and type in the search bar what it is you want to try and find. Hopefully, you'll be able to find it that way. Free Discord server also there. So you can see in this post, which is a summary, an AMA summary of what happened in this AMA on the 10th of November. I think I should translate the post right now, which is new way they're doing it right now, but hey ho. It does mention, it's taking a long time this time around, that's a new grok thing I'm guessing. But yeah, it says here, for listings on tier 1 exchanges, the key considerations are a project's total value locked, which Kaspa currently does not have any TVL in the strict sense because it hasn't done any pre-mining of that sort of stuff. But also trading volume performance on mainstream exchanges. So of course, trading volume in general is important, but it's on the mainstream exchanges. At the moment of this post, it was only Bybit and BitGet. Now you've got Kraken as well, which Kraken has always been lackluster due to a lack of a stablecoin pair. But BitGet now for almost a week straight has been doing 40%. Normally it's 10 or 5. It'd be doing 40%. Lackluster volume, but the highest. So that could be an indicator that, you know, tier 1s are now acknowledging a bit more about Kaspa. Again, could be. But there's a better reason for why I believe that as well, right? Wolfie, Kaspa hype man, who recently took part in an interview with XXIM. Shout out to Ankit once again for that very insightful interview there with Wolfie. He reposted this post 4 days ago from crypto.com, which is a simple post saying which crypto is digital silver, which used to be identified as Litecoin. Now we tend to claim that as Kaspa, which I think is a fair claim to make. Nice job like usual, Kaspa. We got more views in 2 days than crypto.com's pinned tweet from 3 weeks ago. Nick said the same thing as well. This is crypto.com's tweet, has somehow amassed almost as many views as their top pinned tweet. But why? So we can see here their post as of 4 days ago now, 375,000 views. Their pinned post as of June 10th, 364,000. So it's not a massive increase, but when it's a post that's a vague post, it's not saying, if it was a post that literally said Kaspa, I can guarantee, if it said listing Kaspa, I mean, we saw what happened with Kraken. If this was a post saying listing Kraken, that would have been above 1 million view. Because Crypto.com is in similar sort of size to Kraken, if not a bit bigger. But seeing that in an episode is very, very important. And the reason why it is again because of what Wolfie stated in this AMA, which was when he was talking about, well, when Kraken announced their listing of Kaspa, it was their most viewed post ever on their Twitter page. 1.4 million views, which would definitely be recognised by other top tier exchanges as a testament to the Kaspa community. He also then mentioned as well regarding the Binance posts. We saw 3 or 4 Binance posts with Michael Sutton leaked sort of post with a hat. You saw the block time with a clock time, the blockchain trilemma, what it is, as well as other hinting posts at Kaspa, right? And every single one of those posts got a very high number of engagement. So Wolfie, while speculating, is a logical speculation that what these top exchanges are trying to do right now, or seemingly trying to do, I mean, they're definitely engagement farming, but at the same time, because they're having to pay out of their own pocket, out of their own back, they're trying to determine if there's a lot of hype, conviction, willingness from the Kaspa community, engagement. So with Crypto.com, who has already speculated and leaked that they're going to be listing Kaspa, because they had a launch page on their website, which was how to buy Kaspa, that was up for about 3 weeks or so, and now when you click on that link, it shows you to Bitcoin instead. But they have posted it, and I've showcased proof of that on my account myself. So Crypto.com is also aware of Kaspa, and of course it would be when you can see all this games as well. So the premise is with Bit gets high volume, with Crypto.com making posts that are getting very, very high engagement, with Binance also doing that in the past as well, there is speculation, once more speculation, that these tier ones are acknowledging Kaspa, they're noticing it, and they may be preparing for a listing. Of course, again, it's a matter of if, not a matter of when. We still are waiting. It's been, 2 years. In the sense of Binance, it's been 2 years. And I'm sure you, as much as myself, are probably quite tired of hearing tier 1 incoming, tier 1 incoming. Unfortunately, there is nothing more to say other than that, because for me, it's not a matter of if, it's a matter of when. Wolfie also said here that he emailed the link and a brief description to Paul Grewal, who is the CLO of Coinbase. So he's able to witness the pure decentralized Kaspa energy, where just a community of people are showcasing their support of a project. And if you're trying to pay off your own back and as an exchange for a project, you want to think the community is going to be really involved, and they are. So that is reassuring to see. I'm happy about that. It's not necessarily game breaking or changing, but it's a sign of what's to come. And if we do get a very bullish July in a quality M2 money supply and Kaspa's developments, again July, we're going to hopefully see the Kasplex mainnet launch. We're still waiting for a date on that. We should most definitely be seeing the public testnet for IGRA, which I'm very excited about as well in July. So July is going to be a huge month for Kaspa. That could potentially, again, especially if we get that mainnet launch for Kasplex, I'm not particularly sure which layer 2 I prefer. I do like the openness and transparency of IGRA as opposed to Kasplex, but both have been fantastic from what I've seen. And I think Kasplex has done a very, very good job, and I'm looking forward to what their mainnet has in store. If they can launch that and get stablecoins coming on very quickly, you may see increased adoption, slowly but surely, and that could also incentivize these tier 1s to list as well, which of course will be those price pumpers, especially if the market is in an uptrend. That will cause increased volatility, increased FOMO for Kaspa, and a bigger price pump. So there's a lot more to come in. And then we got posts like this as well, right? Again, this is speculative posts, so nothing game changing. But once more, OKX posting together we bridge to a new alternative. What could that be representing? Of course, we could easily depict that to be Kaspa once again, because Kaspa is a new alternative proof of work that can scale like a proof of stake, but better than that, staying decentralized and secure. Insane stuff, 10 BPS, insane stuff. Bridge. We bridge to 10 BPS, you could argue all those points. The reason why I can speculate is about Kaspa, although again, it's a speculation, is because as Wolfie confirmed as well, Binance has been in contact with Kaspa since Christmas 2023. OKX has been integrated with Kaspa as well for over a year. So Kaspa is integrated onto OKX and Binance for over a year, and now you've got Coinbase as well with their futures. So these tier ones are aware of Kaspa. You know, it's going to happen. And there's some loose connections to Binance as well. Kaspa Finance, who is one of these decentralized finance platforms coming to Kasplex's layer 2, the EVM. They are making an AMA with the crypto well 1988, hosted on Binance Live. Now, we've seen that in the past where Kaspa has had an interview on Binance Live, which was their most successful interview to date, had 10 times more views than the average Binance Live interviews, and it had 20,000 more than the Binance Live for Binance's return to India. So, you know, Kaspa has definitely got probably the biggest community. I would argue cult, but I'd like to believe all of us are actually quite informed on what we're holding, so we're not just follow blindly. But Kaspa's got the most convicted community, and we've seen it with Nacho as well, who's done numerous Binance Live interviews as well. Now you've got Kaspa Finance, and more of these Kaspa projects and Kaspa ecosystem starting to bleed more into Binance, which is good. Happening on the 2nd of July, which is about 5 days from now? 4 days from now. 4 days from now. And they've got a prize pool here, you know, some incentives and whatnot. All in all, it's very, very cool. And they also announced here some new massive news for the Kaspa ecosystem. Their version 3 DEX AMM, Automated Market Maker, has passed the audit with a perfect score from RD auditors, which is good. Again, remember, auditors are not a silver bullet or a glass ball. No, it's not a crystal ball even. Like, as DC frequently reminds me, and I'm aware of this, audits aren't perfect. You know, audits are a great way to depict the project as it is right now. And we had the audits with Haven, I think it was, recently, which managed to find some big security or big issues with the likes of Zeal and Moonbound, which have been completely resolved now, which is great. But again, you can still see issues with them. It's not a perfect thing, but that's not trying to downplay it. It's still a great thing to see that KFC had a perfect score with the audit. Over 300 audits completed, trusted by QuickSwap, DAO and more, battle-tested, bulletproof smart contracts. The audit report is here as well, which we can look through later on if need be. But it's a very, very good deal to see that all these Kaspa projects, they are getting their support, their trustworthiness. These audits are important to give more trust to us, right? Because I don't want to use something that's going to end up being like Change Finance and end up going through a whole rug pull scam. Although Change Finance is not necessarily a security issue, more so just them doing something illicit. But it's still good to see. So I'm great to see that, all that sort of stuff. We've got some more posts here I'll get to in a short moment as well. This one in particular is very, very insane. But before we do, I want to get into some other reasons why I believe that July could be huge, very volatile as well. I'll get to questions very shortly as well. So, in case you've forgotten, Trump released his tariffs on April 2nd. As Kryptonics reminded me constantly, it's April 2nd. We then saw more than roll out on April 5th and April 9th, but April 2nd was when it came out. Liberation Day was April 2nd. And we then saw Congress pause Trump's tariffs for 90 days. They did it on the 9th of April. Point being is, or more or less, point being is, you know, that 90-day pause is coming quickly to an end on the 9th of July. So that is in roughly 10 days from now. So in 10 days' time, the tariff pause will come to an end, which therefore means without any new trade deals, on July 9th, tariffs will rise as follows. The country-specific reciprocal tariffs will return. So, you know, you can check this out. All that information to regard what the tariffs were and the numbers are available in my community. I'm sure if you type in tariffs, you'll probably see a lot of people talking about it, but you'll probably be able to find the post about it as well. Some of them are like tariffs up to 50% on EU imports, 30% tariffs on China's imports remain in effect, global 10% baseline tariffs remain in effect. All of that stuff is going to come back. Now, that could be a cause for concern. I say could be because remember when tariffs first came out, we saw markets across the board completely capitulate. This came back from Trump's inauguration, a gradual pullback. Then we saw from Trump's Liberation Day again on April 2nd, around here, we saw a pullback of roughly 15-20% in Bitcoin. Of course, since then, it then saw a reversal from the 9th of April, so 1 week later, we saw Bitcoin recover very, very nicely. The stock market was a bit more delayed, or they saw a bigger, stock market again, keep in mind, this is a bigger market, by the way. This is a $50 trillion market, whereas crypto is only 3. And we saw a $50 trillion market go from, a 50% pullback. It crumbled. It was terrible. Of course, now it's recovered. And even since then now, since the tariffs have been paused, we've seen the S&P 500, the stock market, make a new all-time high, which is really good news. That's very good news, actually. Of course, it'd be better if Jerome Powell started cutting interest rates, but, beggars can't be choosers. The point being is, what I'm trying to bring your attention to is, with the tariff pause soon to be coming to an end, that will naturally invite FUD, uncertainty, worry from investors, potentially some of these big money makers and whales using this FUD to play on your emotions and therefore trying to get you scared and push the markets in a way that you think it's going to react and then buy your dips, right? Trade war potentially will unfold once again. That is the way in the community right now for 9th of July. So while July is going to be a big month, in my belief, and I still think it's going to be a big month, it could see some more volatility. But the reason why I think it's going to be big regardless is because we are seeing countries in this 90-day pause who have come to negotiate and form trade deals with Trump. United Kingdom, the European Union. They have stated that if they cannot come to an agreement, they are ready to take the tariffs on and stand strong. But they have also stated, thanks to Trump's recent talk at NATO, that the European Union is now ready to make trade deals with the United States, which is good. So, and we also have heard alleged confirmation from the Treasury Secretary Howard Lutnick, as well as Trump, that they have a trade deal with China. Now, we haven't heard much more about that, so I'm guessing it's probably still in the works of some regard, but China and the European Union have been probably the two biggest nations, and Japan actually, but those two in particular have been the two biggest nations who have been kind of very against and trying to push the tariffs away. They're trying to avoid it, basically. They're the biggest ones causing the trade war, particularly China. But if both powers, and all powers, can come and form a trade deal, what it means in general is not the point. What it means as an investor is the trade war worries, the FUD of which will be lackluster, will be minimal, and therefore it won't cause too much volatility and might even incentivize more bullish momentum. More money coming to the economy, more money can flood into crypto. Crypto therefore soon after will start seeing, because July follows August, they're going to start seeing regulatory frameworks coming out very, very soon, hopefully. You'll see the hopeful pushing forward of the stablecoin bill and maybe the market clarity bill around August time, September time. Now keep in mind, that does not mean we're going to get the bill enforced and up and running on that moment. It does take quite a considerable amount of time for the framework to be fully laid out and for everyone to be compliant with it. Over a year. It takes time, but it's still an indicator, a green light for what is to come, which is more adoption of crypto. So yes, in that short summary, before I get to some more questions, Kaspa's currently holding a very nice level here. Hopefully it'll break out of this consolidation phase very, very soon above it, as it did in the past back here. We have seen a lot of things in regards to, July is going to see, hopefully, the Casplex mainnet, if we get confirmation from that from Kaspa DAO and the Casplex team. The Igra Labs testnet, public testnet will be coming out around then as well, which I'm very, very excited about. We had confirmation from Cash Ching as well. Shout out to Cash Ching. That Wolfie are partnered with Igra. So for those who are in the KRC20 space, if you want to look into getting some Wolfie, then by all means, might be a good shout, because maybe you'll see something very big from Wolfie. I hold Wolfie myself. Not financial advice. Do as you will. I hold some Wolfie, I hold some Nacho. I plan to get some more very, very soon. Still early doors, but if Wolfie are working with Igra, which, I believe they are. I mean, they've confirmed they much. Then yes, I think Wolfie could be a good shout. Again, not financial advice. Point being, yeah, big stuff coming in July, and then again, this potential uncertainty could very much be squashed if we get more of these announcements and actual trade deals finalized, which would be very, very big. Now, I'll get into this post very shortly. Before I do, let's get into some more of the questions quickly. Good work on the regular stream show. Thank you very much, Brett. I appreciate you, brother, and thank you very much for being here every single day. Thank you very much, man, as well. Congratulations, and thanks for your hard work. I appreciate it very, very much, brother. And yeah, I'm still going to be here as much as I possibly can. I try to do it every single day. Of course, there will be some days where I will fall flat. I can only apologize for that, whether it's, well, actually, it's never actually been a case of me being lazy, because I enjoy doing these streams as well, as much as I love talking to you all. It's normally family-related situations or the wedding I went to a couple of weeks back. Either way, I will be here every single day as much as I can do. I want to be here so desperately for when Kaspa does break out, because then I can say with confidence that my conviction, our conviction, paid off very, very well. Can't believe Nacho lowered 50% yesterday in one day. Did it now? Looking at Nacho real quick. It did. Wow. Don't know what's going on there then. You saw maybe people who are in the insider trading holding Nacho decided just to try and sell it off massively to short it and then buy the dips. I'm not entirely sure. That is very interesting. Damn, I wish I saw that. I would have bought that dip definitely. I hold some Nacho. I would definitely have bought more on that. Nacho also has some very good connection to the Kaspa community. They're working with Zeal, for example, and Zeal has done fantastic. Definitely right now the front runner indexes for Kaspa. That might change. You might see Kaspa.com come up the rankings, maybe another platform, but Zeal's doing very well right now. 33.7 mil market cap as well. You're getting gradually more holders as well. And Nacho's working in partnership with them, so that could do well for Nacho as well. So again, you know, Nacho coming down like that is crazy, but wish I knew that ahead of time. I would have got in the dip. Brad Pitt, welcome back, brother. You're doing very, very well. I'm bearish, but all in okay. Kaspa since 2024, I won't get out. I mean, being bearish is completely understandable right now. I completely get it. I think a lot of people right now are very, very bearish, especially in Kaspa, because Kaspa's had... It's one thing when you've bled heavily, like, you know, Sui, for example, who's bled down, what, 50%? But that's happened since January, whereas Kaspa's come down a bit more, agreeably, a bit more, and that's been since August 1st. It's been almost a complete year of just lackluster price action. So it's been a very, very frustrating time to hold Kaspa. But some people like yourself, and I could argue like myself, are in just because, you know, we believe in what we hold, and also we're like, it's no point in getting out at this point. It's no point in getting out. For me, I don't view it as no point in me getting out. I view it as I actually do know what I hold. I do believe what Kaspa's building is insane. I believe the people they have working with them, the KRI, the KEF, the stuff I'm politically trying to do as well, it's going to be very, very big. I believe we're going to see a supply shock for Kaspa extremely soon. So I'll get into that post in a moment as well, very, very soon. So I would say, I wouldn't say I'm bearish. I mean, I'm probably always the bullish individual. But I like to say the optimist, because I'm not going to just straight up lie to anybody. I purely cover sources and base my opinion based on the sources, but those sources aren't always accurate. That's why I always say do your own research. But I'm the optimist for crypto. I mean, the information I cover with my VIPs every single day, or not every single day, every single week, I should say, sorry. The information I cover with my VIPs every single week does provide a lot of alpha information from these institutions on what they perceive of crypto. And that's why I'm very bullish on crypto. I am with the honest conviction it's not going to die. It's going to take off like crazy this year and the years to follow. And then, of course, when I understand the inherent benefits of crypto and what it provides, and also then what Kaspa provides on top of that, my conviction in Kaspa is my optimistic nature of Kaspa is stronger than anything else. That's how I perceive it. If you want to find out more about sort of stuff, weekly live streams, we've got one happening tomorrow. Trade alerts, which we, thanks to our work together with BYDFI, trades are coming in frequently. Alpha information, educational videos, all that sort of stuff. Links down below in the description. Also on my homepage, wop.com/coinfactory. You can join for free for 7 days, 7-day free trial. Get people behind the curve. Or equally, again, thanks to our working together with BYDFI. I get exchange with no KYC, no VPN. If you sign up through the affiliate link down below, or again, better still, if you check out the Get VIP access page right here, follow the steps here, click the link to put out $100. You verify your account here. You'll get many benefits, like again the account with 70% futures discount on trading fees, as well as a permanent VIP access to BYDFI channels that are, posting frequent trades, stuff like this, printing money, stuff like that. As well as a 1 month free trial to the Coin Factory Executives, where we do cover streams frequently every single week about what's going on in the space. Be doing it for every single week straight for 22 weeks, 23 week coming up as well. So you want to find out all that sort of stuff ahead of time and much more information. Links down below in the description. Check out the free Discord server. You can find the channel, get VIP access here as well, and all the stuff available down below. But yeah, I mean, in that regard, then I understand being bearish, definitely, but my conviction is still very, very strong in crypto and in Kaspa, no doubt about that. Wyoming stable coin reserve has recently placed Solana, Aptos, and Say as top potential list for use. They want to freeze fees and C's option. Kaspa and Ado do not have this, and yes, that's the thing, right? And I accept it's definitely an uphill battle of sorts, right? Because what these centralized entities want, as always, which is why crypto took so long to take off, is control. They want to be able to control everything. Now, I've not fact-checked what you said here, Brad, but I'm trusting your word for it. I'm sure it's an easy Google search as well. But what they want is control. That's why CBDCs have been a rampant thing in the European Union, because CBDCs is the way to gain more control over the crypto market or over digital assets. Crypto's been and is still, for the most part right now, very, very unregulated. It's getting more regulated frequently right now, so it's better, but it's very heavily unregulated, which made it more risky. And of course, I mean, the arguments I see constantly made about stablecoins and crypto is that it's used for illicit activities. I'm not going to discredit that. You've seen a lot of hacks and stuff happening in the space, but cash is no better. If anything, it's worse, because you can't track cash. You can track crypto. Tangent aside, I apologize for that. Point being is, yes, platforms like Solana, Aptos, and Say, like, they're good for what they are. Say is extremely quick. That's why I held it, without realizing that it has infinite supply, which I inherently hate that, because it makes it no better than actual cash that we have right now, which is a broken system. Solana's not, Solana's a very, very quick platform as well, but it is, it's not secure, and it constantly goes down. Aptos I'm not as well versed with, but equally I don't think it holds a candle to these other platforms. The point being is, yes, centralized entities, these governments and these corporations, they want to be able to have control. The freeze and seize is an option to potentially deter hackers, but also for them to control it. Kaspa does not have that function. Now, you may see some layer 2s or some other dexes coming to Kaspa that will introduce that function as a safety mechanism. But it's got to try and do it in a way that's still decentralized. It's going to be very, very hard to do so. So, in that regard, Kaspa's got an uphill battle because it's not really aligning with everything these, higher ups, high net worth people want, or because they want to have control. But then Kaspa has got something that nothing else does have, which is, again, the fundamental element, which is not enough always, but again, strong fundamentals, security, like none other, Bitcoin level security, which is something that everything wants, while still being scalable, as well as being very, very cheap, one of the cheapest in the space and the quickest in the space for transactions. And Kaspa is still very much in its infancy development stage. Most of these other projects right now have introduced these features because they've been building for 4, 5, 6+ years. Or they had a developer team that just bought everything they needed to do it. Kaspa's been building for 3, 4 years, doing it slowly, but they're still a very young project. They haven't got smart contracts out just yet, which is coming out in the next few months and then fully released in the next, half a year. Stablecoins coming on very soon as well. You're going to have native smart contracts. You're going to have the DAG-Knight. DAG-Knight's going to be the actual end game, making Kaspa internet chaos resistant. If you see a blackout, if it runs on blockchain, if we're running on blockchain, you see a blackout, there's going to be an issue. People are going to end up losing a lot of money. With DAG-Knight, there won't be an issue, which is something that nothing else can attest to right now. So DAG-Knight is something that I'm also holding very strongly for Kaspa. That's why the KRI got involved with Kaspa, because of DAG-Knight. And as we've seen from the KRI as well, there are multiple reasons and multiple institutions that desperately want to participate in blockchain, but are worried about the centralization and corporation that just control the markets. The insiders, they want to have a decentralized place to, conduct all the projects they want. The Gigawatt stablecoin, the Asset Mint, the Warp Core, as well as the ZETEX, the Zero Emission Trading Exchange. They want to use these platforms, but they need to do it with the decentralization because then it's, for everybody effectively. And that's something that nothing else has. The KI made a post here saying that's insane. Just replying to Phaser here, where it highlights that Stripe takes 2.9% plus 30 cents per transaction. Stripe connects more than 0.5% more. PayPal's even worse. How is nobody building a better solution for SaaS companies? Someone's going to disrupt this and make a fortune. Now, crypto is doing that. I would argue that Ripple and XRP have already done that. They're better anyways. But then, of course, Kaspa. Kaspa, what the KI are building with Kaspa, it's going to blow it away significantly much cheaper than XRP and also quicker. And that is going to disrupt this. The corrupt element where they're just taking money off people so easily. And even Ethereum can't handle that. Ethereum is expensive fee, so it won't be Ethereum doing that. How can you fade say it's one of the few coins in an actual uptrend? I mean, it's in an uptrend right now, but it's a matter of not chasing candles, right? I don't chase candles. I understand what I hold, or at least I say I do. I was told about Say by a mate of mine who was very bullish on it, and I was like, okay, sure, I'll look into it a little bit. I read about how insanely quick it is and the stuff coming to it. I was like, okay, Say sounds great. I looked at the tokenomics. I'm like, don't like the tokenomics, but I understand the risk of that. The insiders may dump on me. I won't put too much into it. It's perfectly fine. I don't mind if I lose it all. And I got into it, and then I was brought to my attention a week ago or so that Say had an infinite max supply, and I was like, how did I not see that? We've witnessed Mantra. We've witnessed Luna. We've witnessed multiple projects that have gone to zero, been rug pulled, and their common factor has been the fact that they've got infinite supply. They are literally cash. The developers can just print tokens out of thin air. It's terrible. It's a terrible mechanism. It brings no intrinsic value. There's no value to the token if it can just print more. Now, that's not me trying to deter Say. I think Say as a project is actually quite good, or their building is quite good, but I am just personally not a fan of projects that have infinite supply. That's also the inherent risk of proof of stakes, because the developers who control most of the supply, they can therefore make the decision to print more tokens out of thin air. Whereas a proof of work, you can't really do that. You can, but you can't without ruining the whole, hash and hard forking it and whatnot. That will be a very big issue, so you can't really do it. So to answer your question, I just faded Say because I'll say this. I think Say is going to do very well this cycle. I do. I'll say that even now. I still think Say could do very, very well. But it's just it's a moral of mine. Me as an investor, one thing that I have learnt throughout the cycle is I don't like holding infinite supply tokens. That's just me. Don't have to follow me. In fact, you shouldn't. You should do your own research. You think Say's going to do very, very well, then go for it. You've got projects as well like ZBCN, Zebek, which has done fantastic recently. Their tokenomics are also a little bit sketchy, but equally I think it'll do very, very well this cycle. It's had a massive uptrend recently. It's coming in a downtrend. Still within this golden pocket though. And it could very well see a move and a breakout. If the market starts rallying as well, could see a very big rally again. So, you could potentially see a very big gain, the 2x coming soon to the back, if are fortunate. There are going to be many projects in the space that go through uptrends and downtrends, that do very well, do very poorly. You've got to devise your own trading strategies. My trading strategies is knowing what I hold, analysing my risk to reward ratio, my ROI as well. Like I hold Sui, I don't have the tokenomics of Sui, I understand there's going to be insiders trading it, and I don't trust them. But I know it's a quick platform. I know it's rose to top 11 very quickly. It's now like top 15. It's coming back right now. I'm up on Sui as well, but I'm not going to hold it for long term. I'll hold XRP for the same reasons. I've gone to him when the lawsuit was still back here, made a nice gain on it. I'm still holding it, but I understand the risk to it, and I'm going to probably sell them at the end of the cycle. Kaspa's one that I'm going to continue holding. I'll take profits, but continue holding because for me, there's a lower risk and a higher reward of Kaspa than anything else. A better ROI, in my belief, because not financial advice. Good morning, Lopez, bro. You're doing very, very well, brother. Welcome back to the stream, my man. 50k Kaspa in the bag. Love to hear, bro. I'm ready as you should be. As you should be. Mid Kaspa targets. I don't really do price predictions anymore because I just think they are inherently I mean, again, I say it every time. I understand people want them, and of course it helps, but I don't try to do price protection because I just think it can be a very damaging mindset. If you think it's only about price and not, I think people are trying to get what I'm trying to say here. The only thing I will say in regard to price protection for Kaspa is I am with the utmost conviction, not financial advice again, that Kaspa is going to comfortably surpass all-time highs. That's as far as I go with price predictions for now. I think it'll comfortably surpass all-time highs, comfortably, which is 20 cents, comfortably surpass that. So right now, it's already looking at 2.5x from here. I think it comfortably surpassed that. Now, you can determine what I mean by comfortably. It's up to you. But I think it'll surpass that. Because we're seeing other elements like this as well. Again, KRI being a very big element. KRI as well. They got a lot of their projects that are going to be releasing in Q4, pilot Q4 this year. Warp Core, Gigawatt, and ZTEX. The KRI decentralized healthcare positioning. So you now got healthcare coming out as well. Secure patient records. You got telemedicine payments and global healthcare access, clinical trial tracking, no centralized control, all stuff coming as well. So they're bringing more ideas of what could happen with KRI and Kaspa, which would be also very, very cool. You're also seeing more developments from Kaspa as well. Internal testing rolling out on Google Pay with Kaspa, which is really, really cool. You've got chess happening to Kaspa thanks to the Cassia mobile application that's been coming out there, bringing out games. The phones. You bring out games on the phone or the messaging app. If you're using an iMessage, you can play basketball or battleships or 8-ball pool. God, how many times have I sent 8-ball pool to a girl I was trying to air? God, that's so disrespectful. But now you're bringing chess out as well. That is a quite interesting feature. Hope to see maybe more coming out. It's just currently in UI UX stages, but that's great stuff from Cassia. And then you've got two more, and that's what I want to get into real quickly here. I'll get to this one in a moment, actually. Supply shock, right? Kaspa unmoved supply in over 3 months has surpassed 74.5%. So most of us right now who got in 3 months ago, which for your information, 3 months ago was back here. They have not sold. They have not sold at all. 74%, which is a large number, actually. So we're going to see a supply shock because we're going to see there's less and less capital being released, and there's less available to mine, and more is being held and not moving at all. It's being put in cold storages. So eventually, when the FOMO starts coming into the crypto market and capital starts to rally, there's not going to be a lot going about. There's going to be a supply shock that's going to come through. And something that I think is very important is because remember, Tom Polinsky mentioned in regards to what Kaspa needs to do to reach a top 5, as I mentioned in the last video I made on Kaspa, what they need to do is they need to Bitcoinize itself. And in regard to Bitcoinizing itself, it means also proving to the high net worth individuals and companies and crypto corporations that it can be utilized as an alternative store of value amongst other things as well, like a Solana speed, high throughput. So Bitcoin store of value element. Between 90% plus circulating proof of work supply, 74% unmoved supply, and no team or foundation wallets, Kaspa is the only comparable scarce store of value to Bitcoin. Kaspa right now is going to hopefully has to be used for all your transactions as well. It has to happen for it to be a fully functioning and proper mean of exchange. But if it can be proven at outperforming Bitcoin, which hopefully will happen in this cycle, I believe it will do, and a proven store of value where people are just holding it and holding it and holding it and making big gains off it, high net worth individuals will see bigger gains with Kaspa than Bitcoin, and they'll start holding Kaspa instead as well, incentivizing more investment to Kaspa, and now help Kaspa reach that top 5 status as well. Supply shock is going to be a very big thing to look forward to. You'll see more stuff coming to Kaspa. I'm very excited about that. A last post here from K DAO, or Kaspa DAO here. 2.0 community update and steps taken. So they've officially opened a public discussion for KDAO 2.0 on June 15th. Over the past 2 weeks, we've received amazing feedback from many of you. Your insights, questions, and ideas have helped us shape a stronger and more transparent foundation for what is coming next. So they have one more feedback, or a call for more feedback. Is there anything you would like to add or ask to the next step? So right now they are going to be hosting a Twitter Space AMA very, very soon. So that'd be good stuff. But again, KDAO, they're meant to be the DAO, which is the kind of the community that kind of helps guide the Kaspa ecosystem of where it's going to go. with regards to funding and whatnot. If you hold KDAO, you can get access to the community as well, access to, the decisions being made. So they're trying to find a way to go about it. So, I mean, I don't hold any KDAO. I probably will, because I also would like to have a say in what's happening in the community, because it is my project. Kaspa, for all of us, is my project as well as yours. So if I can get a hold of some KDAO, I would love to. I'll look into that probably in the future. But yeah, I mean, they're currently, again, trying to find a way, as it should be, as a decentralized project, asking the community how we should benefit you all the most. And then once they have enough feedback and they've got the community incentive, then they can do it to the KDAO holders who are going to stay true to that vision. So again, Kaspa proving itself as a decentralized project while still climbing the rankings. I am excited for what's coming to Kaspa. I think July is going to be a very, very huge month indeed. 2 years ago, I was excited for these titles. Now it feels like saying it to an adult that Santa is coming. Yeah, no, I hear you in that. Honestly, I do. I do hear you in that. The titles can be, July is going to be a big month for crypto. I mean, yeah, I'm sure you've heard those titles time and time again. I provide a source for why I believe that. But again, if we get a black swan, if we get war outbreak, if we get trade war, it's not going to happen. We are frustrated. We are long away for the bull cycle to take off. Again, it's not a matter of when for me it will happen. But it's been a slow bleed at this point. Hopefully we'll see it take off hopefully we'll see it take off soon, and then these titles will actually incentivize some excitement and worthwhile excitement, Kaspa is not the green color though. I mean, it depends on how close you're reading into it, right? I mean, yeah, it's not the Kaspa green color, but it's the message behind it. The terminology of bridge to a new alternative. Kaspa had a bridge from 1 to 10 BPS. A hard fork. It's not the Kaspa green color, but when has there been a post regarding the Kaspa green color? The green is an indicator of green movement, of green candle bullishness, and I am speculating that there could be loose connections to Kaspa here being new alternative, where Kaspa is a unique project in this space. Nothing done. Kaspa is not following the wheel and blueprint. It's reinventing the wheel and the blueprint for what crypto is meant to be. That's why it's got a tougher task ahead of itself. And I think it's going to achieve it. I do think so. Solana equals Kaspa. I mean, Kaspa is superior to Solana in regards to its fundamentals. Hopefully, it'll also prove so very, very soon with its adoption as well. With the Ethereum virtual machine coming out, and soon the Solana virtual machines and more coming out as well. Exactly, yeah. Screenshot to that. Solana does not equal Kaspa. Yeah, it's not equal Kaspa. It's better than Kaspa. Yeah, I hear you though. Yeah, 2nd of April, yeah, I got you. What's up, Melissa? Hope you're doing very, very well. Having a great day and weekend so far. The one that's important here is China. China's definitely the most important. Definitely, but the European Union is equally as important. Again, any nation that's in the top 5, the ones that follow the M2, so that's UK, US, China, Japan, and European Union, those are the 5 that are most important. China's definitely the most important out of the lot, but all of those are important. But China apparently forming a trade deal now to try and get finalized before 9th of July is very, very big. That needs to go back to 0%. Like it used to be, or Xi won't be happy. He has said that many times. I mean, we'll have to see what happens, innit? We'll have to see what happens, what Xi actually ends up saying. We'll find out more hopefully very, very soon. And if you want to get a trade war, then hopefully July will be a very, very big month. Is it Wolfie NFT or KRC20? If you're referring to the IGRA partnership with Wolfie, then it's Wolfie the project. So it's NFTs and the KRC20. There's actually some alpha information in my VIP group that I was let know ahead of time regarding Kaspa and regarding Wolfie, which I put in there I think about 2 weeks back. So if you go in there and you type in Wolfie, you could probably find it. Some of the stuff they're trying to bring out to, the stuff they're going to do. So if you want to find out more again, so alpha information regarding Wolfie, go check that out there as well. But I believe it's both of them. The NFTs will have a use case, to my knowledge, I believe. Nacho and pretty much all KRC20s are very liquid, so it can pump and dump very easily. Yeah, exactly. They're tiny market caps. Most haven't even got over a 1 million market cap. It's tiny. So yeah, it's definitely very liquid. But when Kaspa grows as a project, so are these projects here as well that actually have some form of fundamentals behind them as well. I saw that dip at 3 a.m. and did not buy. Yeah, honestly. I didn't even know about it. I wish I did. I would have bought that definitely. That would have been an easy, 2x or whatever. It would have been easy, bag to make of that. month plus 1 equals huge month for Kaspa. Repeat for next 6 months or more. Yep, DC, you're completely right. I'm going to say it every single month. You don't chase the candles, you buy the dip on something that shows a higher high than a higher low. I mean, yeah, you are right there. You are right there. And in that regard, then say has showed a higher low here and is forming higher highs as well. So in that regard, yeah, you're right. And again, in regards to as an investor, it probably was unwise for me to sell. Because again, it is forming a higher high, higher low. It's in an uptrend. But it's just, again, I got into it. I do think sales could do very, very well. I'm still going to highlight that, but it's just my own morals. I don't like getting into projects that have infinite supply because I don't trust those. Out of everything in this space that I don't trust, infinite supply is the one I trust the least. If I say infinite supply, I immediately put it as a straight no-go for me personally. So as an investor side, I think it's probably unwise for me to do that, but that's just me. My trading strategy is that. Yours doesn't have to be the same as mine. I mean, I kind of hear you, Kryptoni, but I mean, I just roll the punches. Honestly, you got many people who are here because they do believe in Kaspa, or they just like waffling. I know you and DC got a bit of a feud going on, truth be told, but I mean, you got Anodis, you got Nadehart, you got Wealth Ranger joined. I mean, Wealth Ranger is a bit more serious than Anodis and Nadehart and those individuals who just love fighting Kaspa, but they do it because, you know, if you're not going to FUD Kaspa and put it down, you're going to cry in it. Like, if you don't roll with the punches and start attacking the project you're holding because you're frustrated with it, you're going to start crying it down so much, you know. DC, I think, is in a similar regard in that sense as well. I just don't really bother me. I mean, eventually when I do ask you and some others to be mods, I would ask, while it will be difficult, I'm sure, I'll ask if you can keep in mind that the FUD that people spread in this community, why it can be frustrating. If they're directly throwing hate and it's like unfounded, unjust, then yeah, sure, you can do your job as a mod. But otherwise, you know, DC, he's been a big part of the community for a very, very long time. He may be a bit negative at times. But I still thank him for being every single day. He's still communicating, and I'm hopeful that his conviction in Kaspa will change when Kaspa's price starts running again. But it is what it is, you know. Say straight trash. I know you believe that much. All these Kaspa creators swore that Kaspa would be minimum $1 for 2025. Now it won't even reach a third of that by 2025. They all start giving predictions. I mean, I started giving predictions for quite a while ago as well, and that is something that I've apologized for because I realized that giving predictions actually is a very damaging mindset. Again, giving predictions can be a very damaging mindset because people who are saying $1 definitely by 2025 was based also on the fact that we'll see Binance before 2025, which should have happened and didn't happen. And equally saying $10 by the end of the cycle, equally, it's moon boy predictions. It's stuff that could have possibly happened but didn't happen, or it hasn't happened. That's not to say it won't happen, but it's just predictions are. There's a reason why I stopped doing predictions, and it's because, again, if I say something doesn't happen, then it looks bad on me. But I made a prediction. Again, it's not a glass ball or whatever like that. But that's why I think it's better off me just highlighting the fundamentals, and then instead of me giving predictions, what I try to do is to try to give you a thought process to make you generate your own predictions, right? So when people ask what they think about Kaspa, I'm like, okay, well, it's got a 2 billion or below that right now, or something around there. 2 billion market cap, very, very low. While it's not healthy or to compare with other projects, look at other projects that have also done very well in their first cycle. Kaspa's already done extremely well. Of course, it's come back since August 1st, but it's done very well in its first cycle already as you've seen, already up 30,000% or whatever it may be. But you look at stuff like AVAX, look at Solana, which in their first cycles didn't move at all till August, and did a 10x in value, in market cap, going from, in AVAX's case, going from a 2 billion market cap or below that to a 30 billion, so over a 15x in a span of 3-4 months. I highlight that. I also then highlight the fact that you've got the fact that Bitcoin right now is sitting at a $2.133 trillion market cap, with a total market cap right now, crypto being 3.29 million, and a Bitcoin dominant market. Eventually it's going to fly into the altcoins. And when that happens, you know, Bitcoin could probably reach 3 trillion this cycle, with maybe a little bit higher as well. We'll have to wait and see again. 3 trillion, probably a bit higher. I suspect we might see a 6 trillion market cap in crypto, maybe, or 5, I think is confident, 6 hopeful, maybe a little bit higher as well. We'll have to wait and see again. point being is when you think about that, you think about Bitcoin, of course, Kaspa being the Bitcoin 2.0, technically speaking. If Bitcoin reaches 3 trillion market cap, how much of that market cap do you think Kaspa can take? 1%? 0.1%? If it's 1% of 3 trillion, that's a, 30 billion market cap, if I'm not mistaken? So can Kaspa reach 1% of Bitcoin's total market cap of 30 billion? Which I don't think is too excessive to ask for. Can it get higher than that? Again, we can debate about that till death do us part. So that's how I think about that. That's how I think it should be thought about a project. You've got to remember when you think about a price of a project, the price is not just the price is a mathematical equation based on the circulating supply of the project divided by the market cap. So the market cap is the most important metric, actually. And both are important, but it's the market cap that really, really matters. So when you determine a price of a project, you've got to think, here's the supply of the token. It's a borderline fixed, 26 billion right now for Kaspa. It's not fixed, but you get my point. How much market cap can Kaspa reach in comparison to other projects? And when you think about that, then you do the maths. If it can reach a 30 billion market cap, then you do 30 billion divided by 26. That's above a $1 Kaspa. That's how you think about price predictions. So all I do then, I don't give price predictions. I then think, okay, so you look at other projects, you do the research, and you think how much percentage of a project can Kaspa reach? Or can it replicate an AVAX move? So a 30 billion market cap. Can it do 1% of Bitcoin, 30 billion, or can it do a bit more than that? 1% of Bitcoin total market cap at the top of the cycle. Of course, it will need certain elements to take into account. Again, stuff like tier 1 listings, more adoption, smart contract, native, stablecoins, all sorts of stuff that will be a big factor to it, which I do think we'll still see the cycle. But that's how you think about price. That's how you think about predictions. And I don't do it because, again, I don't want to give any false belief. If you think it can only reach 50 cents, meaning you think Kaspa can only reach a 15 billion market cap, that's fine. That's fine. As long as you've done your research and you make your own predictions. At the end of the day, you're your own investor. You've got to do what's right for you. And then when I reach that, let's just say, for my argument's sake, let's just say I believe 50 cents, right, this cycle. If you reach 50 cents, me as an investor, I won't take everything out then. What I will do is I'll take profits at my zones as an investor, and then I will play reactionary to the markets. I'll look at my indicators that tell me when the markets get overheated and may come to a top, and then I'll start taking profits more consistently. And then when the market starts going through that correction, I've made money already, and then I'll DCA back into Kaspa because I believe it's a great long-term hold. That's just me. Everyone has their own predictions and strategies. If you want to find out more and you want to even ask me more questions about it, then you can check out the VIP and I'll answer questions about it. There's a section in there about portfolio management, which, we give you some insights in regards to how we think about it. But again, no one's really used it, but you can. We offer help there. If you want to find out more, again, links below in the description and also my homepage here as well. You can join for free again. You can even get the free advice before, if you decide you want to end up benefiting more from what we're providing there as well. Very informative answer there, Tony. I mean, there's going to be a lot of people who are just don't like proof of stakes. You haven't got to really rise to it. Again, I accept and understand all arguments for and against proof of stakes, and respect the belief of everybody there. All comes down to it. What more questions do I have here? It looks like Crypto is fighting a battle right now. Crypto Chris, he vanished. Yeah, well, Crypto Chris, yeah, I mean, I haven't seen him post in quite some time. I mean, him and Crypto Galaxy in particular, they're two in the same boat. And what I mean by that is that they both did very, very well, talking about Kaspa very, very early. And then their memberships did extremely well, so they don't need to necessarily make YouTube content because they got their memberships. Now, me personally, I can say with utmost conviction and confidence that even when, I'm hoping when my membership does really, really well as well, I still will be making YouTube content for those who, just want to have a more casual setting, talk about crypto and Kaspa. I'll still be here, So, but, if again, it's a matter of ROI. If they have a better ROI just focusing purely on their membership than making YouTube content, then they might as well do that, especially when Kaspa's not really getting a lot of attention right now. I mean, I was fortunate enough to get a 5k video there. I'm very happy about getting a 5k view video. I mean, I typically average about, 3k? I mean, I can say with confidence I'm one of the, I guess, more established Kaspa community members and KOLs, which I'm very grateful for all of you for that. But But, like CG, he used to be averaging 20k on Kaspa back in the day. He'll probably get 10 now. Still not bad, but he's got a bit of RR in his community. So you'll see them come back out of the hedge works when Kaspa starts rallying again. There's no doubt about it. And those who traded Kaspa as well probably come back as well, I'd imagine. Kaspa Maxi here, but unrealistic price predictions. Delayed. Most people bought above 15 cents. Anytime it rallies back close to that, people were selling ASAP. Oh no, I agree with you, Coach. I do. I think, thank you very much for being a Kaspa Maxi and being in the community once more. I appreciate you very, very much for being a part and also a member, which I think was gifted to you by Falco. Shout out my boy again. But yeah, I'm fully aware that many people bought at these levels, 20 cents, 18 cents, at these candles, because they followed the candles, they bought these peaks. When they reach these zones, they're going to be, these three in particular, actually this one here is a very, very tough level of resistance here. You've got many, many zones to have to break above. It's got a very tough target ahead of it. But once it does, if it will break above them, then it's going to be borderline smooth sailing above all-time highs, because it's going to be in price discovery. And it could be releasing a lot more at that point. So you've got a tough level at 8 cents. You've got one in and around, pretty much every 1 cent zone is a tough level of Kaspa. The toughest ones are 8 cents. Then it looks like around 11 cents. Then it seems to be one around 12 cents. Then 15 cents. Then 17 cents. Then 18 cents, 19 cents, then 20 cents. So you've got a lot of zones, It's not going to be an easy task. Again, if it was easy to be billionaires, but I still think it's going to happen. Welcome, Ghostly Bro. You're doing very, very well, brother. Welcome back to the channel, man. Have a great day and weekend so far, I hope. The reason Norman's bought all those levels, and now it's prepared the coins, getting back to the bull run, is because all the unrealistic predictions. Yeah, exactly. That's why I stopped doing them. Because I think the unrealistic expectations and my predictions is what got these unfortunately uninformed individuals who didn't do enough research or didn't analyze it properly to buy in, because they just trust people blindly, and now they feel like they're trapped and they just want to get out of it now. So that's also why I stopped doing it. I try to bring informative content and education about the whole market and Kaspa, and use that information to talk with you all in a very pleasant setting, hopefully, and we can make our own predictions here if we want to, but I will never outright say what I believe. If anything, I've kind of stopped believing in the prediction myself. I just believe Kaspa could do very, very well, and I leave it at that. I hold it for the long term. I do think it'll blast through there in due time as well, but there'll be a lot of tough resistances, but it'll blast through there in due time. And yeah, that's also a big reason for that as well. Again, we looked at AVAX just gone, like how when you're in the full-fledged bull cycle, the zones are like paper. Right now, these are Great Wall of China zones. They're tough, iron doors. Once the bull cycle's in full force and alt cycle starts as well, they become paper. Or like it goes through it very quickly. I think it's a possibility as well, if not a little bit higher as well. Yeah, it did, but so did every other project as well, who did rally up and then came straight back down. Again, you've got to look at a slightly wider perspective, not just Kaspa. That was not a Kaspa problem, that was a market problem. Kaspa rallied up in accordance to the market. Sui did the same thing, Say did the same thing, not as heavy as Say actually though. Tao did the same thing, all at the same point. Kaspa actually rallied up one of the best out of the lot. It jumped up over 2x, almost 2.5x. Everything else did like a 2x in value. Like it did very, very well. But yeah, I mean, it just came back. It was the market. Karen and Nancy always will be here. Just ignore it, and they will be silenced in time when Kaspa shows up. Indeed. Welcome back, DD bro. You're doing very, very well, brother. Welcome back to the streamer, man. I mean, yeah, you could argue that. You could argue that again, they're just trying to find the right time. There's multiple reasons you can give. Binance will lift when they're ready. That's all I believe. Look at more questions. I do have to. I've got about 2 minutes until I have to leave, so I'm going to find some more questions real quickly before I get into there. The problem is, Jay, 70% of all Kaspa in circulation has not moved in the past few months. Prices have been manipulated like there's no tomorrow. Yeah, I know, it's definitely concerning. The fact that there's so much that's been held and not moved, but it's still being manipulated. So I do agree with you. It's a bit concerning. I don't really have a rebuttal to that either. I'm just saying hopefully it'll change. I do think July could still be a big month. But, who knows? Maybe, again, if DC says, I'll move the goalpost again next month. Who knows? I think right now the signs suggest July will be a big month again. The M2 supply suggests July should be a big month as well. So just gotta hope. Recent Kaspa by 4 was still good gains, and also more listed than 10 cents. Yeah, exactly. I mean, he's not wrong there. He's not wrong there. He's not wrong at all. But you know, he also got in very, very early. Remember that. Oh god, okay, I do actually have to dip off very, very quickly. I apologize for leaving very abruptly. Looking at a few more questions real quickly as well. So if I missed you, I apologise, but you know, it's not out of hate. I love you. Mr. Moss says our hate, but it's not our hate. I do love you all. Crypto Chris is genuine, but they don't make much money on crypto. They make money for the membership groups. Yeah. No, I agree with you. I agree with you. The big ones make a lot of money for the memberships. That's why a lot of them also leave YouTube, because you don't get much money from YouTube all the time. You know, the big channels can make a pretty penny, but you can make a lot more if you've got a big membership. You make a lot more through that. It's about what you provide in there as well, though. Precisely. Completely agree with you, Coach. Completely agree with you. Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, I mean, he was in the trenches at one point, but then, you know, again, it's what it is, right? He's got a membership, he's got his own thing he's doing. I have no disrespect to Crypto Chris at all. He's been a great part of the community, and I do wish to converse with him one day when he comes back, maybe, when he's actually making content again. I do feel like it's time I do start networking, I start watching, I start to talk to other people, maybe have an interview with Wolfie myself, like XXIM did, or other people. So I need to try and make sure I can do that. But I can do that, would be really, really cool as well. But yeah, I mean, being in the trenches is when real winners are made. You don't stay here when times are green, you stay here throughout the whole time as well. Oh yeah, that was not a good call by Crypto at all. But again, people have their good and bad. Everyone has their fumbles here and there, as long as it's not too consistent. And again, you just gotta be very careful, you know. But with that being said, again, thank you very much, Coach, and everyone who's watching today as well. I appreciate you all very, very much. If you enjoyed, smash the like button on the way out. Leave a like, share, and subscribe for more. Tomorrow will be a stream as usual, I believe. If you want to find out more about crypto and Kaspa, check out the free community here. Equally, the VIP as well. And also, if you want to get 70% discounts on all trading fees, as well as many other benefits, and a 1-month free trial to the VIP, check out the affiliate link and in the Discord, in the chat down below with BYDFI, in exchange of no KYC, no VPN, and regulatory license in Canada and America and many more regions. Find out all that stuff down below. Have a great day, good evening, good night, my people, my family, and I will see you all in the next one.